Those following me on X might have seen this post that I published there announcing publicly that we removed MEM from our tool stack, which is very sad because we've been using MEM for more than a year and we saw big potential. However, for our members of the paperless movement, that's no surprise because we've been talking about this in our weekly AMA in more detail. And we recently launched our digital note-taking course, which goes into detail how to take notes. And these courses are always tool agnostic in the first two layers, concepts and workflows. And in the implementation part, we show how we apply these concepts and workflows to tools. So you see there's Apple Notes appearing, there's deep thinking in Outliners, which is Tana, where we dive into how to do this workflow and deep thinking visual tools. Here we talk about Heptabase, but MEM is missing. Here is AI empowered meeting notes, which is MeetGeek. There's no MEM. Now we launched also our personal knowledge management like a pro, our PKM like a pro course. Again, we are diving into shallow thinking versus deep thinking, all the things that you need to know how to create a professional and efficient PKM system. We have the workflows, and again, we have the implementation part where we show Readwise Reader for our shallow thinking and we show Heptabase for our deep thinking. But MEM is missing. And this is the place where we actually went into a lot more detail. So here's a 7.5-minute video where we talk about why we removed MEM from our tool stack. But I want to take the opportunity to make this video to dive a bit deeper. We've been worrying about MEM for quite a while already. We always had big hopes that they will have a turnaround there, but the update frequency was very low. The communication, the public communication to see what is on the roadmap, where's the golden thread, where are they heading, that was disappearing since the last interview that we had with Dennis. And then we are suddenly in the community, this appeared here. For MEM roadmap update, Kevin, the co-founder, he talks about chat and search and browse and discovery. And we are all about focusing on specific tools and doubling down and make them right, of course. But the way this was pulled off was pretty confusing because the existing users didn't get the update at first and only new users get the update, and it was quite confusing. We've been engaging in here as well and replying, but when you go through the feedback from the community, then you see there are a lot of unhappy people in there with all the updates that they kept sharing. Especially when you go to the discussion, there are things like here, another remark and personal opinion. In the last announcement, the team mentioned the new interface would be amazing, blow our mind. And I want to show you now what this means. So let's go to MEM. This is my MEM and this is the old interface. Okay, so when you go to home, you see this. Okay, there was already, it always filled off with the implementation of the chat and things like that. And that's where we thought we had great hopes that just the existing setup would be reorganized and getting up to date. There was nothing wrong about the UI UX, maybe adding a dark mode or something like that. And when you read through these posts on Slack, that's what people were hoping for as well. And then when we go to settings, now we have the new user experience as well, which is just available on web, not in the desktop version. You can switch this on, and this is the amazing new MEM experience. Okay, so there's no home button, it's now chat. So they focus fully on the chat. That's the first thing you're presented with. I don't want to go to my PKM and start asking AI about what I want to see. I want to have a dashboard. I want to, like in Heptabase, have the whiteboards or something to see. Then the next thing besides chat is search. Now I can search for MEMs, which I could essentially do in the chat as well. Then I have favorites, which is not clickable. It's just your favorites showing up there. The collections that never made sense in my opinion. And then everything just shows you the recent MEMs. And when you click here, you have a list of the things. And it immediately popped up that there is no inbox and there is no task list. There's no place where I find the tasks. And this was essentially the reason that killed MEM for us in our tool stack, because if you go through our courses, you learn a lot about inboxing. It's key to process the information and move it into the final destination. You have your buckets and single source of truth, and everything is very fluent and not complicated at all. That's what we teach in these courses. But what is essential? To have a place to easily process the information later. So it really depends on the tool that we are using. But in MEM, for example, this was used for meeting notes and writing something down. And when you're writing something down, you usually come across some tasks that you need to do. And instead of moving away to another tool to write down the tasks, we teach you inside the membership and in ICOR that you write down these tasks in your note-taking app. So let's create this here. And I guess this is still working. Yes. So this is a task, and then you keep writing meeting notes. Okay. And then you can forget about this. And these tasks, they are not tracked in here. They will be tracked in your final task manager, but therefore you need to have a place where you can access all these tasks. And this was the inbox before, because for even in Apple Notes, in the note-taking app, I can filter by notes that have open tasks. So when we switch back to the old MEM experience, we have the task list here. And here, see, now this task appears. And key is here now to decide in a different moment where you process your task inbox. Where does this go to? What do we do? Maybe in the meantime, it already stopped there. This is highly efficient. That's how we used MEM in the past. And removing the task inbox, it's nonsense now, because going back to the new setup, there's no way to find the task anymore. Let's see if we at least can ask ChatGPT, which is, in my opinion, nonsense, but what tasks do I have to do? Okay, maybe it appears there. Okay, at least it finds this task, but the recommendation is to consolidate the task in one place for easier tracking. Thank you. That's called a task inbox that so many other note-taking apps provide. And that's something that we always set to in Heptabase, for example. There's no task inbox yet. They will add this inbox later on. And we kept saying, look at MEM. They even have a task inbox. And now it disappeared. I asked the MEM chat, and even the chat itself recommends me to have one place to collect all the tasks in order to process them later on. I have no idea what's going on, what kind of feedback that they received in order to make these changes. But looking at the list, so they removed the tasks, they removed the inbox, which was also essential because MEM is something I'm just throwing information in, like the Readwise Reader, what we show in the PKM like a Pro course. The Readwise Reader app, we throw things in, but then you have an inbox, and then you later on can process this inbox in order to move the information to the places where it needs to be. So they removed the inbox as well. So I'm just ending up with a pile of information. I have no control at all in MEM, because that is something you have to now fully trust AI. Instead of giving more control, they removed even the control in order to process the information. And things like push into new MEM, comments, so they removed the complete team feature there as well. There's no connection to people and calendar anymore, so there's no meeting notes coming up that you can take. It's crazy reading this list there. You can no longer publish MEMs. There are no longer scheduled MEMs and daily MEMs. So just going through this list, they killed key features. They killed key features and probably also a lot of processes from people who were using this on a daily basis. I don't know what to say here. I'm curious about what you think about this. Do you think that's the right step? Because if you go to the website, I linked it as well in this tweet. You can read through the post there and see why they made these decisions. They say they want to focus on the things, but in my opinion, there was not so much that they needed to focus on. So I don't know. Now they're focusing on chat, search, collections, similar MEMs, providing a bug-free. And I'm pretty sure that tools like ChatGPT even, or other alternatives like Lazy, or many other AI tools coming up now, will cover this with ease, and they will provide even more. I don't know how this makes MEM special anymore. Also, going back to the new amazing user interface, distraction-free is something we really appreciate. But where are the decisions? What is on this UI? Look at this. I have chat and I have search. I have favorites and I have add sources. If you want to have a clutter-free thing, why do I have add sources? That's something I use once and then never again. I set it up and that's it. So why is this button there? Makes no sense at all. There's no dark mode, but that's it. But new node, I thought it's a mem. So I create a new node, that's it. But if I want to be distraction free, look, this is off. That's not even centered because now it's loading the related mems, which never worked. So it never found mems properly all the time when I started writing. So that's great when they want to focus on this. But now I toggle the toolbar. Now I have distraction free. But what about the top? If I want to have distraction free, there are plenty of tools you can learn from. But these are things that they can keep improving. Obviously, that's an early stage of their new AI improvement. To me, it's hell. I'm sure when you would listen to our co-founder Paco Contero, he has something similar to say about this. We are pretty much shocked about how mem evolved in the past month. And then this is sold as an exciting, amazing update. That's not the kind of updates that we've been hoping for, that we've been telling our community that we have high hopes that this will be amazing once this is launched and the things that they update. It's a complete different direction. So what are the alternatives? The alternatives is if you go to our website and go to our tools section, then you see our ICOR framework, which is still the old one with mem in it. But there's also the utility apps with Apple Notes and things like that. But we will remove mem now from this ICOR tool stack. And in the PKM course, we show the reader and the Heptabase. And Heptabase is publishing nearly every day new features, and they are highly polished and well thought through, and they really implement what the community is asking for. So that's why we right now can perfectly live without mem and keep using reader for our shallow thinking system and Heptabase for our deep thinking system, and then how to process all this in our course if you're interested, or if you're a member, you know already what we're talking about. But this is something here, and let's see if Lazy will eventually launch, because the Lazy was the only alternative to mem so far that we saw that leverages AI to connect the information, but they never got back to us. One of our members, he actually published a full review about Lazy on Medium, and he shared it in our community as well. So here we are in the community. Let's search for Lazy. Everything, and there we are. Lazy, mind-blowing note-taking tool. These are the things that I did, but here is Clayton Miller. He's one of our members as well, and he talks about his experience with Lazy because he got access already. So shout out to you, Clayton. Thanks for sharing this. And he also shared the Medium post where he goes into more detail. But we are discussing this inside the community. And it seems, especially the performance is not there yet when it comes to Lazy. So we never saw it in live. As soon we get access, obviously we will share it as well. But I thought I want to share with you this update about mem. I want to know what you guys out there think about mem. We heavily discussing this inside the membership for a while already. And obviously inside the membership, we are there to help you to find alternatives. If you're using mem already, we also help you to find solutions how you migrate your existing information. Because for us, it's not hurting us. We can easily move from one tool to the other because our concepts and workflows are tool agnostic. We are just moving what we have to a new tool and we keep going. And that's how we were able to easily adapt to this new situation. But I know that many of you might suffer from this and they want to stick now to mem, but I can imagine with all the features missing now in mem, that's what it is. Let's see if we get a statement or feedback from mem themselves about this video maybe. It would be amazing. We are also open to have an interview with Dennis, again, talking about the future of mem and understanding more the decisions behind this. But at its current state, it's no longer a tool that we use personally or that we would recommend when you are trying to implement the way of building a PKM as we do. Thanks very much for watching. And if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel so I can catch you up with any updates about mem or alternatives popping up there. And I'll see you next time.